Okay, hi. We are Hart and Bridget,
Hi.
and we are Depth Accelerator, which is an open world theater company making immersive artwork. Our mission is to turn audience members into co creators, telling stories that activate your agency and catalyze transformation.
Our current project is called SOLIS, and it is set in the 1200s in the south of France. It's an immersive theatrical game where the objective is to embody a beautiful story. And you do that by inhabiting a character's worldview and making choices that they would make.
The drama commences when King Boniface L'Esperate of Chandray, which I'm saying wrong because I don't speak French that well, issues an urgent summons to all the nobles of the kingdom for a week of upcoming sacred festival to honor a total solar eclipse.
The kingdom is presided over by a dualistic cult, and there are some magical elements of the game. The Fae are a faction in this world, let's say, and the magic is baked into the kingdom's history.
The game consists mostly of having secrets and using them to sort of get ahead of the others in your world, teaming up with people strategically, working out what mysteries are concealed behind the story you've been given. This type of play is often called a LARP or a live action role play, but that name tends to evoke battle simulations and Renaissance fairs.
Foam swords in the woods.
Foam swords in the woods. There will not be any foam swords in our game, though there might be one practice sword. This piece is a lot more like improv theater, but it's powered by rich backstories and hidden objectives.
Each of the 22 roles is written to make you feel like you're the main character, and informed by their backstory, you have the freedom to make whatever choices feel true to your interpretation. So each character has a very deep and extensive backstory, but that leaves a lot of room for you to make the character what you want and filter the character through your own lens.
We were really inspired to write this style of LARP after playing our friend Alice's LARP, Fielding's Hollow. We had written immersive theater games before that time, but when we played Fielding's Hollow, it showed us possibilities of the medium that we had not seen before and never imagined. So one of those for me was experiencing a character who was in the midst of a crisis that I really didn't know the ending of. I was having to go through both spiritual and political tumult in real time and try to manage what felt like the highest stakes the world could possibly have. In stuff we'd written before, that wasn't really a thing a character could experience without knowing the end of or seeing that coming. So the contending with the unknown was a big reason I wanted to do this.
Yeah, we hadn't really written a LARP where every audience member or cast member felt like they had the power to completely change the story, and Fielding's Hollow really felt that way, and as a result it felt incredibly high stakes and was one of the most stressful, condensed experiences of my life, but in a positive way. It's difficult to conjure that level of stakes in a work of art and make it feel so real and so significant, not just for the character but for you as a person. That's something that Alice does well is in casting, is making sure that the concerns of the character are somehow related to the concerns of the real person. And in our LARP we would like to attempt to do the same and give people characters that are useful and relevant to them.
Mm-hmm. And it's been useful and relevant to us just writing this piece that we've learned a lot from the characters as we're creating them. We've also just experienced really cool little miracles. When we started writing this piece as a medieval court succession crisis with sprinklings of intrigue and magic, we hoped that someday we'd be able to produce it in a real castle. And I remember when I said that to you out loud, I felt silly for saying it. But within a few months, a cascade of synchronicities made that happen much sooner than we expected. So we've been invited to actually produce this at a real castle at an event in Europe called Castle that takes place at a French castle about an hour south of Paris. And it's going to be an 8-hour experience on day 2 of their festival from September 21st to 26th. So our play is taking place on September 22nd.
And this happens to be the first live production of the show. We weren't necessarily intending to run it so quickly, but the synchronicities all lined up, and we felt like we couldn't possibly say no to running this at this castle, at this event. And so we do plan to hold future runs in the US primarily, but it just worked out that our first run is happening at a castle in Europe.
Yeah. So if you're coming to Castle, you can apply to be part of this production and be one of the 22 live characters, from the king himself down to the court jester. Or you could be one of the many ghosts who haunt the royal court. They'll be extended beyond the living cast. You can also join the mailing list to be notified when applications are open, so that if you're coming to Castle, you can apply as soon as it's available. Check out the notes on this video if you want to be one of the first cast members. If you aren't coming to Castle or won't be able to play that day, but you'd still like to be notified of another time you could play SOLIS, we do plan to run it again in the US, probably early next year, but get on our mailing list and we'll let you know as soon as it's available. Check out the second link below this video. And also, there's a third link where you can support us. We would love your help.
Yeah, so obviously, in addition to traveling to this faraway castle in France and buying all the props, or some of the props and effects that we need for the show, we're also taking time away from our regular jobs to work full-time on writing and production. Because of this tight deadline, we don't really have time to work on anything else, pretty much, until we have to produce this show. So we're asking for some support to afford to work on this project, which is why we have the GoFundMe link in the comments or the notes section below. And your donations will enable dozens of people to experience this LARP and future runs of SOLIS. So yeah, if you have the capacity to donate anything from $5 onward, please go visit our GoFundMe. And thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, thank you so much, and for watching this video and sharing it with your friends, and for your enthusiasm for this medium. We would love to see immersive theater grow into the next big novel or movie type genre, but it's going to take a whole lot of people deciding that they can do this thing.
You heard it here first. Immersive theater is the art form of this century.
Yeah, we will make it so. Well, we hope to see you in character. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.